Bart, last episode we talked about registering, the intelligence layer we built for the revenue department. And one of the things that came up almost in passing was the idea of signals, that the best of it, business development isn't built on gut feelings. It's built on real checkable information.
Right. We call it honest signal doctrine. Never invent a reason to reach out. Find a real one or don't send it. Don't send, I hope, as well.
Right. So today we're going to go deep on one specific signal because you've been saying for a while that most agencies are sitting on a gold mine and they don't even know it.
They are job postings.
Job postings of all the things.
Of all the things, my friend. Let me tell you why.
All right, set up, because when people first hear this, they will think job postings, that's for people looking for work. What does that have to do with winning new clients?
Everything. Here's the simplest way I can say it. Job posting is a budget made for public.
Wait, that's good. Say that again.
Budget made public. When a company posts a job, right, it means someone with real authority already said yes to spending real money on a real problem, right? Nobody posts a role that says $140,000 a year just to test the market. The
Right,
money is already
just for
approved.
vibes. Right.
Just for vibes. Yeah, pretty much, right? Like the problem is already real, right? The timing, it's just there.
All right. So it's about actions and not about strictly intent.
Yeah, it's action with a date on it, basically. And that is very different from signal most agencies are just chasing, right? Think about what most people do. They watch funding announcements. Company raises Series B. They send a cold email out. By the time the news hits the press, the money has already been wired weeks ago. 40 other agencies, so the same post you did. You're not early. You're in a crowd.
So then there's the other extreme. You're just going off a feeling or vibes, as we like to say. Like, this company looks like a fit.
Which is just a guess, right? And a guess makes a bad first email. You can feel it when you read once. I noticed your company is growing fast. Great. They know they're growing. But what now? What does it tell you about you? Nothing. It tells them you found their website.
Right. Thank you, Captain Obvious, for that email. So job postings solves pretty much both of these problems, right?
They do. Because a posting is checkable. There's a URL, there's a title, a date. When you write to someone and say, I saw your head of life cycle role went up last month, they know you did the real work, right? Because the work is checkable and posting is current. Companies take jobs down when the need goes away. If the posting is still up, the need is still alive today.
Okay, so you're not guessing at the problem. The problem's right there on the page.
In their words, right? One job description tells you more about how a company thinks about function than 10 of their LinkedIn posts. What tools they use, who the role reports into, what they actually care about. It is, in a way, the most honest thing they can publish.
Compare that to their About page, which was written 3 rebrands ago.
I mean, exactly. I mean, you know. Press releases are performance. Case studies are curated. A job posting is a light item next quarter's budget, sitting in public, waiting to be read.
Like that. All right. So where do you start? How do you actually run this?
2 sources. First, careers page on our website. Obviously, it's what they're posting. This is the main source. It's the most complete, the most current, you hope. And it is what the company chooses to show. Second, LinkedIn jobs. Search a company, look at their open roles. LinkedIn gives you something careers page usually doesn't. The date the posting went up, how many people have applied, and sometimes the name of the person who posted.
All right. That last one is kind of useful, right?
Very, very useful. And here's something most people missed. Check both and look for what doesn't match. A role on the careers page, but not on LinkedIn, is often quiet early search. A role that disappear from careers page but still on LinkedIn might be dying. Gaps in between the two tell you something.
So how much time does this in reality take?
It's a lot of time. And 10 minutes per company for the pool. The value is not collecting the postings, the value is reading them. So don't spend 30 minutes finding the jobs. Spend the time understanding what they mean.
All right. So let's say you have the postings in front of you. Then what?
First, filter your link, right? You are reading the whole careers page. You are reading the part that connects to what you sell. If you're a design agency, you care about design, brand, and marketing roles. The warehouse supervisor posting tells you nothing about the business. Drop it.
All right. So you're not trying to read everything, just your lane, just your slice.
Just your slice. But before you filter, take a note of how many total opens roles there are, right? The 10 open roles at 16-person company means they are growing fast. That is useful context even before you get into your lane.
All right. So once you filter them, you score them?
Score each one from 1 to 5, for example. A 5 means the job description describes the work you sell directly. If they handed the roles responsibility to your agency instead, nothing would be lost. A 4 is a strong overlap, but not perfect. A 3 is the right area, but the fit is partial. Anything below that background information is not a hook.
All right. So I like that. So you're kind of weeding things out by a scoring ratio. So the number alone, though, isn't enough, right?
The number is not enough, no. The step that matters most is what I call the one-line read. For every posting you keep, write one sentence about what it tells you about their strategy. Not, they are hiring in marketing. That's not a read. Something like first person dedicated to email, reports to journalists, CMO, tool name in the job description. They are building this from close to zero. This is the read, and that read is what turns jobs posting into first life of email.
So as we like to say, the read is in the work.
The read is the work. Anyone can find a job posting. The one line read is where you actually earn the right to reach out.
All right. So once you've read and scored the individual postings, you're also looking at what the pattern says across all of them.
Right. One posting data point. The pattern cross posting is the real story. And there are like 5 patterns I see over and over again. Each one calls for a different move.
All right. Now we're getting to the meat. Walk them through me quickly.
The first is what I call a single senior gap. One senior role open in your lane and not much else. A head of brand, a director of growth. This means the company has a gap at the top of the function and they just know it. Senior searches run long, 2-3 months, sometimes more. The whole time, that said, he's just the work is either not happening or it's landing in the wrong person.
And your play is not to compete with the hire.
Never compete with the hire, ever. Offer the bridge, right? You are the thing that keeps the function moving while the search runs. And often you stay on after the hire lands because the new leader arrives to find working relationships already producing results.
That's smart. So what is the second pattern?
Full team build, what we call full team build. 3 or more postings in one function at the same time. A content lead, 2 content people, a marketing ops role, goes beyond hiring. That is vertical budget line. They have committed to scaling the whole function, but it will take months before the team is productive. Hiring takes a quarter, get up to speed takes another.
I get it. So you're pitching for the gap while they build.
Exactly. Project would now, retain it later. You're building out content team. They will be producing in Q1. Here's what we can do between now and then. And here's how we hand it off clean. The project gets you in. The relationship you build during that time is what retainer grows from.
I like that. So what is the third pattern?
Leadership change. Head of function role is open or was filled. New CMO, new VP of something in your area. This is the highest priority window in the whole method.
Right. Because new leaders look at everything fresh and basically starting over.
Yeah, I mean, everything in their first 90 days, they look at every vendor, every agency, every tool. The people who were there before, don't get an automatic loyalty. They just don't. The new leader owes the old agencies nothing. So if you can get in front of a new leader in the first month or 2 with one specific and useful thought about the thing they now own, you become the name they recognize when the vendor reviews happen.
Get the foot in the door. So what about when a company is hiring in-house for exactly what you sell? Does that mean you get the boot, or what's the?
That's the That's the fourth pattern, the in-house replacement, right? And it cuts two ways. One, is it's the pressure because they've decided to build that function inside.
Been there.
On yeah, pretty much. On the other hand, they just prove they will pay for capability. The question is only who they pay. So the play is the same bridge move with honest expectations. 3-month project, a clean handoff. Some of the best long-term relationships I've seen start exactly that way.
Yeah, same here. And all right, what's the last one?
No postings. Quiet career page, ghost town, which is also information. It means no fresh budget in your lane right now. Park the account, set a reminder for 90 days, and move on. Hiring freeze downgrades an account. It does not delete it.
All right, so you're kind of waiting for things to pick back up, et cetera, et cetera. All right, I want to bring in one example from the article you wrote last week, which we're going to post actually this week. It's not live yet, but it will be in the show notes. And this example makes it very real. You talked about a fictional company called Fernwood.
So Fernwood is definitely a fictional company. Just made it up on the spot. I don't know why Fernwood, but it kind of happens. But the method is not right. The agency in this example sells Shopify work, email, and conversion. The target is consumer brands, 5,300 people, mostly selling direct to consumer. Firmware Supplies is a 140-person outdoor gear brand. Good fit on paper. And Firmware is a kind of interesting name for a outdoor gear brand.
Yeah, I like Fernwood. Fernwood Tonight was a good TV show in the 70s. Anyway, but fit alone doesn't make you reach out.
Fill alone is warm. Warm is not hot. A buying signal is what makes an account hot because the signal is what tells you the timing is right, not just the company. So they put the Firmwood careers page on LinkedIn, 5 postings, 3 of them are in the lane. A new VP of e-commerce role never existed before, posted 12 days ago. An email and lifecycle manager, first person ever in that role. The tool they use is named in the posting, and the program is being built from near zero. And senior Shopify developer role posted 9 weeks ago, reposted on LinkedIn 2 weeks ago, and job description mentioned an upcoming site move.
All right, so that last one, 9 weeks and reposted. What does that tell you? It sounds like it's throwing up some signals there.
Yeah. That the search is struggling. They cannot find the right person, and the work is stacking up while they look. That is not just data point. That is a wedge. The agency writes to the director of digital, the person currently running the site while VP search is still going on. And the note says, your senior Shopify developer role has been open since early May and went back up and on LinkedIn last week with the side move name in the description. A senior search that runs past 2 months usually means that more gets delayed while the interviews drag on. We covered exactly that gap for another outdoor brand this year. Senior Shopify work during the search, clean handoff the week of the hire started. Worth a conversation while yours runs?
Well, that's a very different email then. I love what you're doing and you're growing, and I'd love to connect and hope all as well.
Hope all is well, my friend. We're getting t-shirts from now on. Hope all is well. I mean,
and shares, yes.
Inside jokes are fun, but it's also a different universe, my friend. Notice what the note does not do. It does not open with who the agency is. It does not list services. It does not ask for 30 minutes of their time. It quotes one thing that is checkable, offers one insight the reader will recognize as true, and makes one easy ask. Their world first, you second.
It shows you're paying attention. All right, so now let's be honest about something. Everything we just described, pulling postings, filtering, serving with the one-line read, tracking the patterns, follow-up reminders, that's a real system. For one person running an agency, it seems like a lot of rubber band string holding it together.
Sir, it is, and I've done it for past 25 years by hand. chiseled, handcrafted, small
Small
batch.
artisanal, small batch, right? Neat
Small
system
batch.
held together with gut
That
taste and vibes and dreams.
every day, all day long, and you see me do it every day. And it's one of the things that it scares people a lot. And we have a solution for that. This is where red string comes in. We
Okay.
talked last
Okay.
episode about
Let's just give a brief recap of what exactly red string is. If somebody's just kind of walking in the middle of this, doesn't know what you're talking about.
sure. So red string comes in. We talked about last episode about this. Red string is like being that intelligence layer. So basically, for me, it's everything we've done over the past 20 years of research of how we search things, and how we look at companies, and how we do job postings. And all that stuff is all the thinking through all that is built into Red String.
All right. So
When people
tell
pull
the
it in.
audience exactly what it is. It's a piece of software that runs where and does what.
So the scouting, the scoring, cadence tracking, the Leps client radar, it's all running inside of it. You don't have to remember pull in Fernwood's career page every Monday. You don't have to set a manual reminder for when their VP gets announced. The system is just watching everything. When something changes, it surfaces. You decide what you want, and it's connected to all your AI stack and all your CRMs and all your emails and calendars and all that kind of stuff.
Right. The one thing I love is it gives you a Monday briefing. It basically says, here's what you did, here's what you didn't do, here's what you messed up on. The brief on Monday tells you which accounts have the new signals worth acting on. The others just tell you, hey, you're falling short on this one, you're not doing great on there. We'll expand on that.
Right. You show up Monday, the brief is there. Here's what changed this week. Here's what is ready to act on. You don't start from zero. You start from a position of already know.
Right. So the method is yours. The tracking is in the machine.
Correct.
In the machine. I love it. All right. Before we wrap, you have a line in the article that you wrote that I want you to say out loud about the ledger.
Tell the truth of the ledger. So how I look at it as working out, right? It's your trainer at the gym, right? You can have the full plan, but if you're not actually submitting it in fully working out, but also submitting like, hey, I did this, I did this, I did this, and you're like, it's just like every day, just given. This is the whole training thing. If you're not doing this daily, and what I described to one of our clients one time this week actually was, it is the absolutely most boring thing you're going to do this week every day for 90 minutes, but you have to follow it. The ledger tracks every day of things you have to follow and you have to do. But if you do that on a daily basis, there's going to be gains in there. All the gains, buddy. All the gains.
So how many minutes per week? I'm sorry. It's because it's 30 minutes.
I look at it 90 minutes a day, but that's just me. Because there's a lot more to.
Okay. So you're talking about spending 30 minutes a day on basically inside red string, playing around with lead gen.
Yeah. I mean, the way I like to structure a lot of the business development stuff when you start after you go through stuff and actually have this like cadence stuff is, I would say, your first 90 minutes and the first 30 minutes just making sure like your cadences are done from this week or from yesterday, right? What is the next one I have to send out? What is the next one I have to send out? I have to update this one. Here's my research, because then you got to do your research on it. You have to go through LinkedIn, like all the things you have to do after that. But your first 30 minutes should be like, what happened yesterday? You get all the notifications. All right, I got to send a second cadence here, a fifth one here, a checkup here. That's literally the first 30 minutes.
So that's homework.
It's homework. It's just homework. It's doing your homework. It's doing your reps for the gains.
Yeah, you got to do the reps, man. You got to put your reps in. So this
Correct.
sounds like one of those things that sounds simple until you realize how much is underneath it.
It's the simple one that always are, my friend.
All right, we're going to wrap this one up, and we're going to continue on our series about red string. This conversation hits close to home. We hope it did. We go deeper in all of it, including red string, every week in the Playbook, our newsletter for founder-led agencies published every Tuesday. Playbook.agencyfocus.xyz. The link is in the show notes. And if you're curious about red string and you want to see it in action, we are doing early access demos. Send us an email at demo@agencyfocus.xyz, and we will schedule and get you in. Finally, the Playbook podcast is produced by and for Agency Focus. We publish a new episode each week. You can watch or listen on YouTube or wherever you get your podcasts. We'll see you next week.
See you.
Teenage Nerd,